Namaskar. Welcome to the example number 4 for the event Marriage Prospects. In this example, we are going to study a female chart who got love cum arranged marriage at the age of 31 years. There will be few important and interesting points in this chart we can learn that the native was running Moon Mahadasa till her 29 years of age. After that, only Mars Dasa started. Till that Moon Dasa, she did not get married. Only during Mars Dasa, only she got married. If you look at both the signification of both Moon and the Mars, if they check the rulers, they may not be strong enough for the marital prospects, but they are having some supportive signification, but their star level are indicating and strong mixed key planets, because in this chart only one or two planets are all favorable, remaining are all mixed key planets. So that Dasa and Bukti will not be having strong favorable key planets in their rulers, but those favorable key planets will be in the supports. And there can be 6, 8, 12 significator also playing role in the combined study, but you have to keep it in mind when the destiny planet, that is 7th cuspal sublord, is not signifying 6, 8, 12. The 6, 8, 12 combined significator planets are ruling in the Dasa Lord. Even it is there in the Dasa Lord or Bukti Lord, they are not going to indicate the problem. It's going to be on the marital prospects. If the destiny it is not indicating that, the unfavorable significations on that 7th house matters are not strongly present. Suppose a planet is signifying 6, 8, 12, the Dasa or Bukti are running, it indicates that 6, 8, 12 can be on something else, because 6th house is not only problem to the marriage, or it is also indicating problem to the health. It is also indicating some disputes. Lot of things are Karagatwa, their 6th house is present. So if Lagna is connected, Lagna sublord is connected to 6, then it is talking about 6 is talking about the problem in the health. If 7 is connecting signifying 6, then it is talking about the problem to the 7th house matters. Such things we have to see that whenever 6, 8, 12 is running, then immediately should not think that it is going to give trouble to the 7th house. It is definitely going to give trouble to the Lagna, where in general native is going to experience some hurdles. If the 7th house, 7th lord or 7th sublord, it is not in the star of a planet, it is signifying 6, 8, 12 or 6th house, 8th house, it is weakening the 7th house matter. That means destiny it is not supporting for that. Even the Dasa is signifying 6, 8, 12, it is present. Dasa or Bukti are signifying that. It is not indicating the problem on the marriage prospects, that we have to keep it in mind. So you have to see that important key planets of the destiny will not be there in the Dasa Lord in the rulers. It may be there in the supports also. So we have to see that the role of the destiny in the Dasa Lord is important. Role of favorable key planets of the destiny in the Dasa Lord is important. It will be there in the ruler, or sometime it will be there in the supports also. That you have to keep it in mind. Another point is if the destiny planet is a strong favorable key planet and it is a free planet, its role is limited. It cannot act as the star lord for any planet, but it can act as the sublord or sub-sublord. So whenever that key planet or free planet, if it is there in the sub-sublord also we can consider, or whenever the rulers of a planet, same ruler is repeatedly appearing, so that sub-sublord also we can check, so that if the sub-sublord is a free planet, definitely it is going to support also. So we have to keep those things in our mind and check it. So anyway, let us check this chart, how that Mars Dasa supported for the marriage, why not the Moon Dasa? That we have to check. And within that Dasa, which Bukti is favorable for the marriage? All these things we are going to check in this chart. So now let us examine the birth chart of this native. Example number 4, timing of marriage, role of key planets. That is the important points we have to learn in this example. What are the other important points we are going to check in this? The first one is role of destiny's favorable key planet in the sub-sublord of the Dasa Lord. Especially that favorable key planet, if it is a free planet, it is there in the sub-lord for the Dasa Lord, that is also favorable. It is getting the connection of the favorable key planet of the destiny. Similarly, role of destiny's favorable key planets in the supports of the Dasa Lord. Normally, that Dasa Lord will have the favorable key planets of the destiny, but sometimes the destiny's favorable key planets may not be playing role as the ruler of the Dasa Lord, but will be there in the supports of the Dasa Lord. So that also we have to keep it in mind. Another important point which I was telling also, 6, 8, 12 grouping. Suppose a planet and star lord combinedly signifying 6, 8, 12. 6, 8, 12 grouping do not indicate trouble in marriage prospects when destiny is not signifying them. Unless and otherwise destiny, that is for the marriage, is indicating troublesome houses, then whenever 6, 8, 12 grouping is coming, it is not indicating trouble in the marriage prospects. And role of indirect and multiple support planets. I will explain in this example. You know that indirect supports, the planet, key planet will be giving influence on the other planet, not directly, by way of indirect. And also multiple support planets also we discussed in the supports in the what do you call chapter number 2. We discussed on the not chapter number 2. Yes, chapter number 2, when we talked about the supports, indirect and multiple support planets we discussed. So that and all I will explain in this example. And role of key planets of the Dasa Lord in the Bhukti Lord. That is all standard. So role of key planets of the destiny in the Dasa Lord, role of key planets of the Dasa Lord in the Bhukti Lord, we are going to check in this. Now let us examine this chart. This is the birth chart of that female native who got love come arranged marriage. Before proceeding to the self-signification study, let us check the general study on the birth chart. So let me open that North Indian chart. So let me study the general study on the marriage prospects. The Lagna is Virgo Lagna. 7th cusp is falling in the sign of Pisces. 7th Lord Jupiter posted in the 6th house as per degree, but in its own sign, in the 7th sign only, but in the 6th house, conjoined with Rahu, so it is representing Rahu. So Jupiter planet in own sign conjoined with the Rahu. Now any other planet is influencing Jupiter. Jupiter is not aspected by any planet, but 7th Lord Jupiter is representing Rahu. Any planet is influenced by Jupiter. Jupiter is aspecting to Ketu by 7th aspect, and Jupiter is aspecting to Saturn by 9th aspect. So Saturn planet, which is occupying the 3rd house, is getting the influence of the Jupiter and also indirectly Rahu. I think you're able to understand. Moreover, the Mars planet, which is occupying the 7th house as per degree, that is aspecting to Saturn, who is also in the sign of Mars only. So Saturn is getting the influence of Jupiter and also Mars. That Saturn is aspecting to the Venus. Venus Rasi Lord is Saturn. Venus Rasi Lord is Saturn. That is Venus in the Rasi of Saturn. That Saturn is the support planet to the Venus. Now that Saturn is aspecting to the Venus, so this is called multiple supports. Venus Rasi Lord is Saturn, not only Rasi Lord Saturn, but also further supporting to the Venus by way of aspect. Now that this is called multiple support. Now there is one indirect support, what I was telling. Jupiter is aspecting to Saturn. Saturn is aspecting to Venus. So Venus is getting the influence of Jupiter indirectly. Similarly, Mars is aspecting to Saturn. That Saturn is aspecting to Venus. So Venus is also again getting the influence of the Saturn also. Sorry, not Saturn. Mars also indirectly. So that we have to keep it in mind. So indirect supports means Jupiter and Mars both are aspecting to Saturn. That Saturn is aspecting to Venus, who is in the sign of Saturn. So that Venus is getting the indirect supports of Jupiter and Mars. So now Venus is getting support by Saturn and indirectly getting support from Jupiter and Mars. That way we have to keep these points. Otherwise, seventh Lord Jupiter is not directly influenced by any planet. Jupiter is conjoined with Rahu, occupying the sixth house. It is indicating some weakness. Otherwise, it is not indicating any strong, unfavorable key planets. The Karaka planet, Mars, we can say, since it is a female, Mars is occupying seventh house, conjoined with the moon, 11th law, that is fine, and aspecting to Saturn, and internally, indirectly, it is aspecting to Venus, the Karaka planet, other Karaka planet, marriage. So that way we could see that indirect supports and multiple supports, and seventh lord is influenced by Rahu, but not strongly unfavorable as far as the cuspal lordship and occupying house and conjunction aspects are concerned. Now we have to check in the extended signification how that self-signification CST, CS are all further increasing the unfavorable or increasing the favorable. And also destiny we have to check. So now let us check the self-signification. Already chosen the event, marriage, love, natal. Now we have to check that destiny. Before checking the destiny, let us check the self-signification and try to give the colors according to their self-signification strength. Planet colors and self-significations. Let us start with the Lagna Lord. Lagna Lord Mercury occupying 10th house. Sorry, Lagna Lord, 10th Lord occupying 5th house, 3, 7, 11 Cuspal, Star Lord, and 4 and 10 Cuspal Sublord. 1, 5, 3, 7, 11 are very good grouping because this is Kama Trikon also. It is good only. But 10th Lord, okay, not bad. But moving towards 4 and 10 Cuspal Sublord. So this 4 and 10 Cuspal Sublord and representing Ketu occupying 12th house, 4 and 10 is not good to the 5 and 11, though it is not detrimental, but it is indicating some weakness. So because of that, that Mercury planet, we cannot give, we have to give some weakness because 4 and 10 Cuspal Sublord. It is 12th house to the 5 and 11. Suppose 4 and 10 is coming in the CST or something, or not 4 and 10 cannot come in the CST. It is there somewhere else, 4th Lord, 4th occupant, something it is coming, it is not a problem. 4 and 10 Cuspal Sublord is a problem. So what we can do, Mercury planet, we can give blue color. So we cannot give a green, we can give blue only because favorable, but some weakness. And the 7th Lord, Jupiter. 4th Lord, 7th Lord occupying 6th house, 2, 6, 10 Star Lord, 1, 3, 7, 9 Cuspal Sublord. 7th Lord, this 4th Lord occupying 6th house is supportive for the 4th house matters and profession, and 2, 6, 10 is further supporting for the professional prospects. 1, 3, 7, 9, it is supportive for both profession and also marriage prospects. 7th Lord having got this favorable and supported by Rahu, 5 and 11, it all favorable, but because of the 4, 7 in 6th house and 6 and 10, so 4, 6, 10 are coming, so we have to give that Jupiter also blue color. We cannot give that pink because it is favorable, it's strongly present, so we can give blue color. So similarly for Rahu also, Rahu occupying 6th house, but 5 and 11 Cuspal Sublord, though it is occupying 6th house, it is having favorable 5 and 11, supported by Jupiter strongly. So though it is occupying 6th house, we can give a pink shade, it's a mixed significator, but 5 and 11 Cuspal Sublord, 6 is not further supported, and Rahu getting the support of Jupiter. So Rahu also we can give blue color. And what else? Saturn. Saturn is 5th Lord, 6th Lord occupying 3rd house. 5th Lord occupying third house is very good. It is favorable to the fifth house, 11th house to the fifth house. But sixth lord is not further supported. Six itself is losing its strength being the fifth lord. So because of that, it is got some weakness because of the sixth lord. So 5 and 3 is good. Because of 6, we can give again blue color. Saturn also blue color. Then comes Mars. No, Moon. 11th Lord. 11th Lord occupying 7th house. This is good. So there is having no unfavorable. 11 and 7 is good. So let us give 11 and 7 dark green. And Mars, 3rd Lord, 8th Lord occupying 7th house, 159 star Lord. This is very good. 3rd Lord occupying 7th house and 159 star Lord is good. Just because of 8th Lord, we can say 8th Lord is not going to be unfavorable. 8th Lord is going to be 2nd house to the 7th house, though it is obstacle causing house to the Lagna. But 8 is good house to the 7th house because this is talking about 3, 8, 7, 1, 5, 9. It is going to be favorable only. It is not having unfavorable because 8 is not further supported by any unfavorable. If 8th Lord occupying 7th house, it is indicating some obstacles. We can say that because of 3rd Lord also, we can say it is not that much unfavorable. So we can Mars, we cannot give light dark green like Moon, we can give light green. So now Sun. Sun is 12th Lord occupying 5th house and 8 and 12 star Lord and 8 and 12 sub Lord. So this is weak. So definitely Sun has to be given light red. Occupying 5th house is fine, but being the 12th Lord occupying 5th house, it is not good, and 8 and 12, 8 and 12 are also not favorable. It is indicating strong obstacles and delay. And Venus, 2nd Lord, 9th Lord, this is good, occupying 4th house, but 4th star Lord and 2 and 6 cuspal sub Lord. 2 and 6, 6th house is not good. 2nd house, if you take 2nd house, it is going to act as a dual because it is the 2nd house to the family. I mean, we can say for the Lagna, it is family, but for the 7th house, it is talking about the 8th house to the 7th house. So this is 12th house to the 7th house, 6. This is not good for the 7th house matters in this grouping. But 2nd Lord, 9th Lord, 2nd star sublord, it is having favorable. But 4, 4, 6 is indicating some weakness. Because of there is no 8, there is no 12 or 10, unfavorable is not very strong, but still we can say 4, 4 and 6 sublord is present. So we can say it is weak. But 2 and 9 star Lord is good. Sorry, 2 and 9 cuspal Lord and 2 sublord is good. So Venus we can give pink. We cannot give light red. So we have to give that pink because it's mixed significator. And Ketu occupying the 12th Lord, 12th house. But Mercury is having, we already given Mercury blue color. So Ketu is 12th house. 12th house, if you take 12 alone, it is not very strongly unfavorable for the marriage prospect, though it is indicating some weakness, but it is 6th house to the 7th house. And also it is, if you take 12th house, we can say not good to the Lagna also, but sometimes it is favorable for the marriage prospect. If you take 12th house, is the a bit pleasure also, we can take it. But unless another way it is connected to the 7th house, 11th house, that 12 will not be favorable. But here Ketu occupying 12th house, second planet is talking about 1, 5, 3, 11, Kama Trikon. So we can take Ketu is a mixed one. We cannot take it as a supportive. We can say it is a mixed because of the second planet is supportive. I think we are given that respective colors according to our understanding. So even if you give any colors by mistake, if you feel this planet, we have to give blue only, not green or not pink, and also you can reanalyze the each planet because when same color has been given more than 1 or 2 planets, so unless and otherwise we study them, self-signification of those planets will not be able to differentiate. That you have to keep it in mind. So anyway, that's what whenever we are going to study the EPS tables, we are not going to just look at the colors and give the analysis. We have to the colors are going to give the indication for us for easy identification, but self significations along with that we have to study. I think we have done it. So now let us set the colors and go to the home page and check the destiny and then the dasa periods. So now we have to check the destiny. Let me close this. Let me open that self-significators. So now what we have to do, we have to check the destiny planet. Destiny planet. Seventh lord is Jupiter. Seventh sublord also Jupiter. 1, 3, 7, 9 cuspal sublord. So Jupiter is the strong destiny planet. We have to check whether Jupiter itself is a green planet. No, it is a blue planet. Which is the green planet? Only Moon and Mars. Moon and Mars are the only the green color planets. But that seventh cuspal sublord destiny planet itself is not green. It is blue only because it is occupying sixth house. Occupying sixth house is not unfavorable strongly. It is 2, 6, 10 cuspal star law talking about the professional prospect. It is karma trikon, and 1, 3, 7, 9 cuspal sublord representing Rahu 5 and 11. They are all very strong. It is more than enough for a very good key planet. But still, because of occupant of the sixth house and 6, 10 cuspal star lord, it has got some weakness. And that also fourth lord. So that is the reason Jupiter has been given the blue color. Though it is blue color, it is favorable. So we have to see that destiny planet is blue with a good signification. Star level Saturn's 5, 6, and 3. It is also good. Saturn is a good key planet already discussed. Because of the 6 only, we are given the blue. Guru in the star of Saturn, and that Saturn in the star of Mercury, that is also blue. Mercury is Lagna Lord, fifth occupant, 3, 7, 11 cuspal star Lord, Kama Trikon, and 4 and 10 cuspal sublord. 4 and 10, 5 significator moving towards 4 and 10, it is indicating some weakness, but otherwise 1, 5, 3, 7, 11 are good. So that sublord also again Mercury, and star lord of the sublord also Rahu, that is again representing Jupiter 5 and 11. So definitely marriage is promised. That 2, 1, 3, 7, 9, 5 and 11, 5, 3 all supportive for the love marriage. The signification 1, 3, 7, 9, 5, 11, 5, 3 all also indicating more than one relationship. It is supportive for love relationship or multiple relationship also. It is supportive. Anyway, that's the point of thing which I wanted to share that. So anyway, that is not the point here now. So marriage is promised, love marriage also promised, but destiny planet in that, which is the favorable key planet, we have to check that we can also check the EPS table. Jupiter is one, star lord Saturn. Saturn is getting that Jupiter in its supports. The strong favorable key planet, destiny planet itself is forming ruler link to the Saturn, star lord, already 5 and 3. And also our good other key planet, green planet Mars is playing role here. Saturn is having both Jupiter and Mars. Already we discussed, no, Saturn is aspected by Jupiter and Mars. This is a good key planets, making that destiny planet supportive. And that Mercury is the star lord of the star lord, represented by Ketu. Ketu is aspected by Jupiter. Jupiter is aspecting to Ketu, na? So that way, that Jupiter is giving the ruler link to the Saturn by way of aspect, giving the ruler link to the star lord of the star lord and sublord Mercury by way of aspecting to the Ketu. So that way, the good key planet is passing its ruler link to all the levels. That way, it is supportive for marriage, despite some weakness, but not detrimental. But marriage is promised. So now destiny is promised, promising love marriage. Now we have to see that which are the favorable key planets of the destiny. Destiny's favorable key planet is Jupiter and Saturn. Indirectly, the Mercury. Next one is Mercury is not very strong because of the 4 and 10, but 1, 5, 3, 7, 11 are fine. So these two planets, and Jupiter and Rahu, because Rahu is the representing the Jupiter. So that we know that Jupiter and Rahu both are having mixed signification, but when compared to other planet, being the key planet of the Dasa Lord, sorry, destiny planet itself, this we are taking as the key planet. And Jupiter, Saturn is a strong planet because Saturn is significant of 5 and 3, and also getting the impact of the Jupiter and also other strong favorable key planet Mars, because Mars is the planet which is forming ruler link to the Saturn. So Jupiter and Mars are making that Saturn furthermore favorable for that destiny. So Saturn planet and Mars, which is there in supports, because Mars is a free planet, its role is limited. So in the Dasa Lord, sorry, in the destiny planet Jupiter itself is favorable and Saturn is favorable, and the other favorable key planet is Mars from the supports, and next one is the Mercury, right? These are the favorable key planets. You can see some other unfavorable key planet, Venus and Sun. They are having that 2, 6 significator, and unfortunately that 8 and 12 significator signified by Sun. These two planets are not ruling the Jupiter, making the destiny not afflicted or weaker by their significations. The role of Venus or Sun is they are not playing role in Jupiter. That is one important point. Venus itself is okay because 292, but Sun is not playing role for Jupiter. That is good. So destiny is not getting strong weakness through the unfavorable key planets. Okay. So now we have to check the Dasa Lord. I was telling that Moon Dasa was running up to the 29 years of age. After that, Mars was running. Moon did not give marriage, Mars only gave the marriage. Why? You can see that both the planet star level and 2 level is Venus and star Lord Sun. Venus and Sun both are playing role as a star Lord planet, both the Moon and Mars. Both are having pink and red, light red only. Moon is having source is good, 11th Lord occupying 7th house, and sublord is Mars 387159. This is good, but again in the star of Venus. Now, which planet is comparatively better, Mars or Moon? Mars is only source is good, star lord and star lord of the star lord, sublord and star lord of the sublord, both are ruled by same Venus. Now we have to check which is comparatively better. This planet is 11th lord. It is talking about 11th house occupying 7th house. 11th house matters are going to experience this weakness. Now this is not 11th lord or this is not 7th lord. This is 3rd lord occupying 7th house 159. This is also good only. This is also going to experience this. Both are not having very good signification at the star level. At least Moon is having the sublord Mars in its sublord, right? Moon in the sub of Mars, which is comparatively better. So now whether Moon is better or Mars is better. The strong favorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, that is Jupiter. When the destiny planet, itself is a strong favorable key planet, that role is also important, either in the ruler or in the support. Directly, it can be there or in supports also. Being a free planet, it can be acting as the sub-sublord or only in the supports we can see, or sublord or sub-sublord only. So that Saturn planet is playing role at the star level for the Jupiter. It is getting the ruler link from the Jupiter also. Jupiter and Saturn are the strong favorable key planet of the destiny. Since the Mars is having star lord and sublord are ruled by same planet, let us check the sub-sublord of the Mars. Especially that when the Jupiter is a strong favorable key planet, a good support, sublord key planet itself is a free planet. If it is playing at the sub-sublord, it can be considered. Moreover, Mars is having star level, sub-level ruled by same planets. Now let us check the Mars sub-sublord. Mars sub-sublord is Jupiter itself. No other planet is having Jupiter. Yes, Jupiter itself, Jupiter sub-sublord, Mars is having Jupiter subsublord. Moon subsublord is Ketu only. So Ketu already we given pink shade because it is occupying 12th house. It's not very strong. So fortunately, subsublord of the Mars is Jupiter. Subsublord of the Mars is Jupiter, that favorable key planets of the destiny. Now that if you look at star level Venus, already we discussed, if you take that Mars planet, Mars star lord Venus is having Saturn. Saturn is the planet, key planet of the destiny planet is Jupiter and Saturn. That Saturn is playing role in the support of the star lord and also sublord, right? That is there aspected by Saturn. So Venus is getting multiple support by the Saturn, no, because Rasi lord also Saturn, aspected by Saturn. And star lord of the star lord, Sun is having conjunct with the Mercury, another planet there in the destiny planet. So that Saturn also again playing role in the Rasi Lord. What I'm trying to say that the star lord planet has got some weakness, but that Venus is getting support from the Saturn. That Saturn is the one of the key planet of the destiny planet. Moreover, remember Saturn, when I was telling that in the natal chart, Saturn is getting the support from the both Mars, because Saturn sign lord Mars is also aspecting to Saturn. Multiple supports given by the sign lord Mars to the Saturn, and multiple supports given to the sign lord given to the Venus by the sign lord Saturn, because Venus in the sign of Saturn aspected by Saturn. Saturn in the sign of Mars aspected by Mars. So this way that multiple supports are being given. So that Mars is aspecting to Saturn, Saturn is aspecting to Venus. So then the planet which are having the Saturn in its supports, they are getting indirectly the support of the Mars and also Jupiter. So Mars also passing ruderlink, interlink to the Venus and sublord Venus, and Jupiter also passing ruderlink. Here Moon is good, star lord is both the planets are the same only, sublord is also better, but the problem is what? Jupiter's role is not present. Here Jupiter role is also present, making that support is strongly present. So that way, this Mars Dasa is comparatively better than the Moon, though both are having weak significator and their rulers. Because of the role of the subsublord, Jupiter is the good key planet, the two destiny planet ruling. I think you're able to understand. One more thing also, please understand that you can see that Venus is having 294426. It is having mixed significator. In the star of Sun, it is having 12, 5, 8, and 12, 8, and 12. Here, second house, ninth house are going to face this one. And of course, a sixth sublord in this star of 8 and 12 significator, 6, 8, 12 grouping also will be formed. So those 6, 8, 12 grouping are formed by a planet through its star level planet. Since the destiny planet is not having these key planets in their rulers, not indicating weakness to the destiny, these significations are not indicating any trouble to the marriage prospects. You understand? So that we have to keep it in mind. So now we have checked the destiny, and we have checked the Moon is supportive, but more than that, Mars is supportive because of the role of the Jupiter in the subsublord, and also that Saturn, which is already supported by the Jupiter, they are all influencing the star level and sub level and also source, because Mars is in the sign of Mars is getting the support of the Saturn, because Saturn in the sign of Mars only. So those things are all present here, and subsublord is Jupiter. So now what we have to do, we have to check the Dasa Lord. Which Dasa the native got married? Mars Dasa, we got married. Okay, that is confirmed. Now, in the Mars Dasa, which Bugdi is favorable for the marriage? So, because that destiny, when the native was running 30 plus, that Mars Dasa started. So, Mars Dasa, then Rahu, all we have to check whether which is comparatively better. We have to check that. So, in that, we have to keep it in mind. The book that Bugdi Lord should have that strong key planet of the destiny, because this is not having strong favorable key planet. So that which are the planets are in making that the Lord favorable? Jupiter and supports Saturn. These are the two key planets, important planets, and Mars. These are the planets are making the destinies favorable. So their role is important in the Bugdi Lord. So let us check Rahu planet in the star of Mercury. Mercury sublord is Venus. So Venus is playing at the sublord. This is not good, because the unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord, which is playing role in the Bugdi Lord, which is not going to favor. Moreover, Star Lord also not very strong. But even it is not strong, but Star Lord of the Star Lord is supportive. Somehow it can balance. But the importantly, unfavorable key planet of the Dasa Lord is playing role here. That is not good. Next one is Jupiter. That we already had a detailed discussion. Jupiter, primary cuspal sublord key planet. The rule is that if the primary cuspal sublord key planet, that is destiny planet in the star and above, if it is a favorable key planet, that can support for the event during its bhukti. If the star level and sub level are not supportive or having unfavorable key planets, during its bhukti will not favor. Here, Jupiter is good. I mean, though it is having some weakness, it is having supportive key planets and not having other unfavorable 6, 8, 12 grouping. Star Lord Saturn is good. Jupiter is aspecting to Saturn. 2 level is Mercury is fine. And sublord is Mercury also good. Despite 4 and 10, all favorable grouping. Jupiter is forming ruling to Ketu. Indirectly, Mercury is getting. Again, Star Lord of the sublord is Rahu, also good. And sub-sublord, we checked Jupiter in sub-sublord of Jupiter itself. That way, Jupiter is strong. Star Lord is good. These Jupiter and Saturn are playing role here, influencing the Dasa Lord already discussed. So that way we have to keep it in mind. And where is the role of the Mars? Good key planet of the Dasa Lord. Saturn is in the sign of Mars only. That we already checked, right? So that way the role of the Mars also present here. And after Jupiter, we have to check which are the other planets. Let us check Saturn also. Saturn is good, starting. Star level, Mercury. Mercury having favorable, but with 4 and 10, but supported by Rahu is good key planet. Jupiter sublord itself is good key planet. So here Jupiter is the source planet. Here Jupiter is the sublord. Both are favorable, good only. But where is the difference between Jupiter and Saturn? Saturn is starting with 5, 6, and 3. It is okay, but being the sixth lord, we have to keep it in mind. If the star level having some weakness, 6 will get the support of that. The star level planet is supportive only, but 4 and 10. Fifth lord in the star of this one, 4 and 10. It is not for supportive for the fifth house matters. It is indicating some weakness at the star level, but star lord of the star lord is supportive. So Saturn is having some weakness at the star lord, but further supported by the star lord of the star lord, and sublord are favorable, right? So when compared to Jupiter, Saturn has got some weakness at the star lord. So that way, Jupiter is stronger than the Saturn. Which are the favorable key planets of the star lord? Mars. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. So Saturn in the sign of Mars itself, and Jupiter is present. I mean, Saturn, Mars, all are playing role here. That way, these two planets are favorable. Among them, Jupiter is stronger than the Saturn. Then comes the Mercury. Mercury is the planet in the star of Rahu, and Rahu planet is occupying 6th house. Let us check how far that Mercury is favorable. Mercury is source planet, Lagna Lord, it is supportive. Star level Rahu is also supportive. 2A level Mercury, okay, same planet repeated, and Saturn is the sublord. Jupiter is the sublord. Jupiter is good only. Jupiter, like Saturn sublord Jupiter, Mercury sublord also Jupiter. the role of important key planets, Saturn and Jupiter, they are not playing role in the source and effect because Mercury is playing Lagna Lord, Star Lord is Rahu occupying 6,005 and 11. And again, Mercury coming. Here you can see Jupiter is playing role, Star Lord is Saturn. Here Saturn itself is playing role, and 12 second planet is Mercury, and sublord is Jupiter. So here, when compared to the Saturn, Mercury has got some weakness. That we have to keep it in mind. So that way, this is okay, but this is not good. And Venus planet, Venus in the star of this is not good. Sun is not good. And Moon, this is not good. Mars, okay, that already discussed. This is the Salad. So Jupiter and Saturn are the only planets. Jupiter, Saturn, and Mercury. This is the order. So which is the strongest one? Dasa Lord under the Mars Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi is the strongest one. Within that Jupiter Bugdi, whether Saturn and Mercury are favorable, which is comparatively better, Saturn is better than the Mercury. Because Jupiter, if you take Jupiter as the Bugdi Lord, the Bugdi Lord strong key planet is Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn is aspected by Jupiter also. That Jupiter is acting here, and that way Mercury also having Jupiter in supports because Mercury in the sign of Saturn. You can see Saturn is the source planet in the star of Mercury. That Mercury having Saturn in its supports because Saturn is the Rasi Lord for Mercury. And Jupiter is there, and Jupiter also having Saturn in its supports. So that way, that all the planets and Jupiter in the star of Saturn itself. So Saturn from the source effect, it is having good significations and also forming roller link. And Saturn is a good key planet of the Bugdi Lord. So Saturn can be the Antra Lord under the Jupiter Bugdi. So the native, let me check in which period the native got married. Let me check the period. Just a minute. The native got married, love come arranged marriage on, just a minute, let me erase these things. The native got married on date of marriage 11/2/2018. During that period, Mars Dasa, Jupiter Bhukti, and Saturn Antra, it was running. I think you are able to understand why the Jupiter and Saturn are capable to give the marriage during their Bhukti and Antra respectively. Now let us examine the transit also on that particular day. Transit was on 11/2/2018. Let me choose natal cusps, and also let me open that natal chart also. Let us check the Jupiter, the role of Jupiter. Jupiter was transiting in the sign of Libra. Jupiter in the natal chart, it is Jupiter. I mean, if you take Jupiter transit in the natal chart, Jupiter in the sign of Libra, and you can see whether Jupiter is aspecting to the seventh lord, second lord, seventh house, eighth house, sorry, seventh house, second house, 11th house, or moon, Venus. We have to check it. Jupiter is aspecting to the moon and Mars. Mars for the female, so Mars is important. How planet we can take for the female. For the Jupiter is aspecting to both the moon and the Mars, right? So that that it's also aspecting to the Mercury and Sun, which is the Mercury is Lagna Lord and Sun is the 12th Lord, and Mars is the 8th Lord and Moon is the 11th Lord. So Jupiter is aspecting to the 11th Lord and Moon. It is supportive, but otherwise it is not having any important. It is aspecting to Mars and Moon. That is good. So in the natals, in the transit, Jupiter is aspecting to Venus. That is fine. But in the natal transit, Jupiter transit is aspecting to the Moon and Mars. Now that we can also check the transit of these, the Dasa Bhukti periods. And Moon, let us check Moon. Moon in the sign of Jupiter. Jupiter is a good key planet, and star lord of Ketu. Ketu is not a good key planet. If you check Ketu in the star of Moon, you can see Ketu in the star of Moon, so that Moon is favorable. So that way, that transit of the transit of the Moon was in a good transit. So next one is the Dasa Lord. Dasa Lord is Mars. Jupiter is the Bhukti Lord. Antara Lord is Saturn. Dasa Lord Mars. How the transit of Mars? Let us check. Mars is in the sign of Mars itself. So Mars is a good key planet, 387159. And Mars in its own sign in the star of Saturn. Saturn is another good key planet, and sub of Jupiter is a good key planet. So Mars transit is in a very good key planet. That way we can see that. And Jupiter is the Bhukti Lord. Mars is in the star of Saturn, which is the Antara Lord. Jupiter is the sublord of the Mars, that is the Bhukti Lord. Just because of the star lord, Bhukti lord and Dasa lord or Antara lord, it transit may not be supportive, but they should be key planet. And or their star lord should be key planet. That is the rule. So let us check the Jupiter. Jupiter is in the sign of Venus. So Venus is not a good key planet. Venus, then Jupiter in the star of Jupiter itself is good key planet. So that way the transit of Jupiter is also supportive. And Saturn planet is in the sign of Jupiter, in the star of Ketu, Ketu in the star of Moon. And you can check that Saturn is in the sub of Mercury, Mercury in the star of Rahu. So Rahu is representing Jupiter, is also supportive. It means what? That key planets of the Dasa Bhukti Antara are in the transit of good key planets. That's why we have to keep it in mind. So now let us, we have already checked that the Dasa Bhukti Antara periods and their transit also. I think you would have understood how far that Dasa Lord in the star level, sub level are having some weak signification. Still, it has given the marriage during its Bhukti of Mars, because Mars is good, and also it is influencing other planet by of multiple supports, and also other strong favorable key planets of the destiny. It is ruling the sub-lord of the Mars and also forming ruler link indirectly to the other levels. And most importantly, destiny, it is not having that unfavorable key planets of the Dasa lords. I think you are able to understand. So we will meet in the next video. Good luck.